Hey guys, unlimitedleasing.com coming at you here with a new video. Today we're going to be demonstrating the new Netgear Nighthawk M1. This is a brand new device that we're making use of with our unlimited data hotspot service. It's got a lot of features that we haven't seen in the past when it comes to hotspots and jetpacks. This device has no data caps, no restrictions. These are lines of service that run on AT&T's network on our business account. In the past, we've showed you guys different devices that we've used, such as the Netgear Unite, which was a great entry-level device. It's what we started with years ago. We've since done away with that one, and then we had offered the Netgear Unite Pro. It was a step up, had a little bit bigger battery, a few more features, the color touchscreen, things like that. That device became obsolete, and it was then replaced by a cost-effective Unite Express. Wasn't the best option for a hotspot, had a real small battery, lacked the touchscreen and some of the features we all like to see when it comes to a hotspot. Then Netgear released the new rugged Unite Explorer like we had here. We have a lot of customers that made use of this device. It was a great device for many years. There was nothing wrong with it, but every few years Netgear comes out with a replacement device, adds a few more features like we've seen in the past, like on this one here. And when we put them side by side, the Nighthawk is just a little bit bigger than the Unite Explorer when compared in size. Unite Explorer would fit in your pocket. The Nighthawk is more of like a hockey puck size. It's a little bit bigger, would still fit in a handbag or a purse. But the Nighthawk here, it definitely has a lot more features that we haven't seen on previous devices. Most notably here on the bottom, we will start with the Ethernet port. Ethernet ports are great for wired devices, or if you want to be able to connect this thing into your already set up home network, you can just plug right in there using the Ethernet cable. This basically then would act as a modem, but by default the device is going to broadcast Wi-Fi as well. We have the new charging port there, the USB-C style. Most people just plug this thing in, leave it plugged in for home internet. Keep in mind, if you do that though, you're going to get this message right here: battery longevity mode. The battery charge levels are being reduced to help prolong the life of your battery. That's perfectly fine. It just means that the battery is not going to be kept at 100% all the time. We also have a USB port there for storage for external devices that can connect. Here we have where we pop off the connectors for the external antenna ports. By default, you won't need this, but remember, these devices are connecting to your local cell towers, like what you see right here. All neighborhoods have cell towers in them that reach out for many, many miles. We see those white panels there. Those are what broadcast the cell signal throughout our neighborhoods. They go many, many miles. So as far out in the distance as you can see there, all those ridge tops and mountain tops, they're all being supplied internet and cell service via this cell tower. And look at that, it goes out in the range of almost like a bubble. So think of it going out 3, 4, 5 mile range distance from this cell tower. And these things usually sit at a high point on a mountaintop, broadcast cell signal for people to connect. So even though you can't see the cell tower, it's there. When we pop off the back battery cover here, we have a lot larger battery than what we've seen in any previous model devices. So enough battery power to last you all day long. You can connect up to 20 devices to this thing at once. Here on the top is the power button. When we press on that multiple times, it will change the screen, but you hold that down 4 or 5 seconds to get it powered on and to power the device off. Here you can see we have one device currently connected. And there, when you look at our unlimited data usage, it's important to see we've used over 5 terabytes of cellular data this month. We use this here in the office. We connect multiple devices, computers, laptops. We have tablet devices, people here getting things done in the office. Right now we have just the one device connected. You can see we're there on the AT&T 4G LTE network. Here in the office we run about 2-3 bars of signal. Obviously, signal can vary by location, just depends on how far you are from your local cell tower. But check out unlimitedleasing.com there if you want to get on board with the unlimited data hotspot service. We have just a handful of these that we lease out. They are very limited. Sometimes we're sold out. Sometimes we have some lines available. So you want to check our website there. Again, the unlimitedleasing.com if you want to get on board with service. We do lease these out to people looking for a better source of home internet. Maybe you're stuck with satellite, maybe you're stuck with something like a DSL, slow internet service. These offer really fast 4G LTE service. And there we've got the blue LED light was flashing. Let us know we have a good connection to the network there. The next question people always ask us is, well, what type of data speeds will I get with this type of service, even with 5,000 gigabytes of data used? And we remind people, speeds can vary by location. So what we'll do here in the office is go ahead and pull up a website on our MacBook, and up in the web address, we're going to head over to a popular website called speedtest.net, and this will help us measure the speed of our internet. Faster data speeds means you can do more things more efficiently on the internet, such as downloading movies, streaming your TV service, and things like that. So once we have the speedtest.net pulled up, you just hit the enter on the keyboard, and then you'll see this big yellow go button pop up on the screen. That's all you got to click. Ignore all the advertisement and extra stuff you see around the outside, and the speed test will automatically start running. You see there it says it was connecting. Our ping time up there at the top where it says 32, that is a great ping time. For those who game online, they want to see low ping time. It just means data is transferring really quick from point A to point B. With the download speeds here, we can see we're pushing over 50 megabit per second down. That is a great data speed for streaming movies on things like Netflix, or maybe streaming your TV service through something like Sling TV or DirecTV Now. When it comes to the uploads here, we're pushing close to almost 9, 7, 8, getting close to almost 9 up. That's great for people who have to push files into the internet. Maybe you run a photography business and you have to upload a lot of files to your website or to your customers. You want to have a good upload speed. That'll make things more efficient. And down there at the bottom, just to confirm, you can see we're right there on the AT&T internet. So no doubt when you look at the hotspot here that the data usage is in fact coming off the hotspot. We've used 5,050.84, now 85 gigabytes of data used. And we have 1 day left in our billing cycle. So that's important to remember. And speeds, like we said, can vary by location. The next question people always ask us is, well, I want to be able to change the Wi-Fi name and password on my device. So when you see here on ours, unlimited leasing is our Wi-Fi name, no data caps is the password, and we're on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi there. A lot of people want to get creative, make it something custom, and on the power button on the top, when we push that, it'll bring up this screen to manage settings and features, connect to the mobile router, and visit the website shown there, the http // ATT Manager, or use the Netgear mobile app, because there is no touchscreen. We can't change it on the screen itself. We have to log in through the portal. So when we do that, we pull up a web page again, and we're going to type in that web address that is shown on the screen there into the website. So right here in the browser, we're typing the http // ATT WiFi Manager, and just hit the enter button on your keyboard. It'll bring this page up. Enter local credentials. You'll first notice that the username is already filled in. You don't need to enter anything there. And the password is really simple. It's all one word, all lowercase, ATT admin. So ATT ADMIN, that's all you have to enter, and then just hit the sign in button there. When you click that sign in button, it's going to bring us up here to our dashboard. It's going to just show us some basic information about the device. We got the dashboard shown there. To the right there, it's going to give you an option, My Media, if you hook up some type of a media to the USB port. AT&T LTE, you can see it there. We are connected, and it just shows us we now have 3 bars of signal. We are using the Nighthawk, and we have 1 device connected, which is our MacBook Pro. Carriers AT&T, signal strength there, fair, battery levels 90%. And then over here on the right, the most important thing, the unlimited data service. You can see there we have 1 day left in the billing cycle on our business account before it'll reset back to 0. But we wanted to show you guys that it is in fact possible to use almost 5 terabytes of cellular data. With our business account lines of service, this is possible. Here you have some other options for your Arlo security cameras, parental controls. You can add guest Wi-Fi networks, things like that. Features that may be irrelevant to some people, but may be important to others. Here on the right, you can see where it says settings. We just want to tap on settings. It's going to show us things about the account. It's also going to show us things about the network. When we click on the network there, it'll show us our status that we are in fact connected, and that's important whenever you're checking that network. We are on the AT&T network, obviously, and the technology there is LTE. AT&T has different layers to their LTE network, so the LTE is important there. shows the amount of data we've transmitted since being connected to the device itself. When we click on device here, it's going to just bring up some more basic information of the device, show us our hardware version, our firmware version, things like that. Wi-Fi details, it just shows us our Wi-Fi name and our password for the Wi-Fi and the encryption for the password, and then it also shows the number of connected devices. Broadcast name is turned on. You can turn that on and off with some other features. We'll show you that here in a minute. The diagnostics, just a lot of information. For most people, this means nothing, but for some people, they find this information interesting. It just shows you about your connection to your local tower, your current radio band. We're on LTE band 2 here. A lot of information that is helpful if you're trying to diagnose problems, trying to see how strong your cell signal is, things like that. Also shows us our charge level. We're at 90% right there for the battery. Also shows the battery status is normal, so that's a good thing. Battery temperature looks like it's doing well also. When we go back on the top left, we click Setup, and we brings down a drop down. It's going to bring up Wi-Fi profiles. When we click on that, it's going to give us the option here where we can select how we want the Wi-Fi to broadcast. You can do dual band, which is the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band. Some people like to be able to broadcast in both frequencies. Some people prefer the 5 gigahertz only. It offers less congestion in some areas where a lot of 2.4 signal is being broadcast. We personally prefer the 2.4. The signal travels farther and all devices are compatible with it. And you also then have the option there where you can turn the Wi-Fi off if you want to as well. When you click on wireless, over there on the left, we click on wireless. This is where we can actually change the Wi-Fi name. This is where everybody says, well, how do I change my Wi-Fi name? Right here. You can click on that, remove the unlimited leasing or whatever you want your Wi-Fi name to be, however your hotspot shows up, and you can enter whatever you want. Type in, if you want it to be, Joe Bob's Wi-Fi, whatever you want your Wi-Fi name to be, and then you can set the password to something secure that only you know as well. You can change the encryption type. We, recommend just leaving what it is, and also the channel, just leave it to auto unless you're familiar with the settings that you're modifying there. It's important to make sure you click the apply button. If you do not click the apply, obviously the changes will not take place on the device. So that just shows you, again, you can click on there. We'll just disregard this for the point of this video. We just wanted to show you guys that is how you change your settings. Down here at the bottom, Wi-Fi standby. So to save battery, the Wi-Fi may go to sleep. But if you're using this for home internet, we want it disabled. We do not want your Wi-Fi to go to sleep after 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever. So we set them to disabled when we ship them to you guys. So you don't have to worry about that. The Wi-Fi is already set to disabled. The Wi-Fi range is set to long. Most everybody wants their Wi-Fi signal to travel as far as possible, but you do have the options where you can adjust that there. We set it to long by default. And when it comes down there to the bottom where it says bandwidth and the 5G bandwidth, just leave those settings alone, again, unless you know what you're modifying those for. When we click on the guest network, we can click enabled. So if you have friends or family over, you can enable the guest network. Again, make sure you hit the apply. We will disregard that for right now. We also have the option for the mobile router setup. More settings that are probably irrelevant to most people, but down at the bottom, you can see where it says tethering. So to turn off Wi-Fi when tethering, that is a feature that someone may want depending on how they have their network set up. For some people, that may be important to turn Wi-Fi off on the device and just use, if you're, let's say you're tethering it to a router. If you're using the USB port, it gives the option there for charge only and charge plus tether. We want ours set to charge plus tether, so that's just the way we want ours set up when it's connected to something. So Ethernet standby is also another important feature. A lot of people have trouble where if they're not having any data passing through their Ethernet port on the front of the device, like we showed you earlier, it may go to sleep. It's just a setting Netgear has put in place. It's set to just go to sleep after 2 minutes. So you want to make sure that's set to disabled if you are in fact using the Ethernet port. And again, hit your apply button down there at the bottom. That's important. For this, we'll just disregard that. When we click back up on the left here, we have data offloading. More features for someone if they're using this for their home network. Arlo, you can set up the security cameras if you're not familiar with that. There's security for the hotspot device itself. A lot of people enjoy having the parental controls available. They can block certain websites, restrict certain devices to connect. If you've got kids, you want to keep them off the Wi-Fi after a certain hour or time of day. You can, block certain devices and things like that. Block certain websites. That's also important for some people to be able to restrict what people on the network are seeing, if that's something that's important to you. And you can schedule it and things like that. When we click on administration, it gives you the option there. First thing is to set the password. Keep in mind, this is the initial password that we typed in. Remember, we typed in the ATT admin, so that you can change the password to something else if you want to. You also have the option there for a factory reset. If you ever get some settings changed and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the original settings were, you can always do a factory reset, set it back to its original settings. We have, again, here more just irrelevant settings for some people under cellular. We have options for port forwarding, port filtering. You, again, just have to make sure you enable those if that's something you want to be able to turn on. And we also have information about the device, port filtering. When you click on device, this is if someone wants to be able to just adjust the screen brightness. For most people, that's not really important. But if you move that button there enough times, when you look here on the hotspot screen itself, you can see the brightness going up and down, which is helpful for those maybe who travel in a car or truck at night. This makes it a little bit easier on the eye, and the fact that they can adjust the brightness as needed. Now, one thing Netgear has mentioned is the ability to make these same type of changes that we've showed you using an app on our smartphone. So maybe you don't have a computer or a traditional way to be able to log in like we just showed you. Maybe all you have is your smartphone. Not a problem. If you have an app store or the Google Play Store, it's possible as well. Here you can see we have a screen pulled up on our smartphone, and we're going to go ahead and log into the App Store here. And here at the top, you'll see the search bar. That's where you can just search for Netgear Mobile. That's all you need to type in, just Netgear Mobile. And the bottom there, hit the search button. And the very first app that's going to pop up here is the Netgear Mobile, the one that we need to be able to make changes to the Nighthawk. Now, we already have it downloaded, so there you'll see the open button. When we click on that, the username's already filled in, just like before. Password, ATT admin, just like it was before. You just type that in there in the app. Go ahead and click the sign in button when you're done. It brings up the user interface. Top left hand corner, you'll see the bars there where you can make all the changes, just like we showed you guys before. Stuff about the settings, basically everything that we had showed you on the MacBook when we had the web page pulled up here. It just gives you all the same options to be able to change things. Down there here at the bottom, you'll see just more settings options. When you click there where it says unlimited leasing and where the password is down there, tap on that and it brings up these settings where you can change for the Wi-Fi band. We showed you those options to be able to make those changes. And here's where you can change the Wi-Fi name and password as well. Don't forget, when you're done, when you make these changes, you will need to click the save button. If you don't click the save button, it won't get saved, and you will need to then reconnect to your new Wi-Fi name and password, whatever that is. So when you hit that save button, it will confirm right there on the screen that the changes are being made to the Wi-Fi. All right, guys, so let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today so far. So our service works in all 50 states where cellular signal is available. So maybe you're a full-time RVer, maybe you live in a campground, or maybe you're an over-the-road truck driver. We have a lot of over-the-road truck drivers who use our service. Maybe you find yourself living in a rural location. You like living off the beaten path a little bit outside the city, but finding yourself having no options for high-speed internet. Or maybe you live in a large city, something maybe even like New York City, and you're tired of the current options, or maybe you want to be able to take your home internet with you. We can provide you those options. Again, with these being old grandfathered lines of service on our business account, there are no data caps, there are no restrictions, and that is what makes this service unique. So you are basically borrowing the service from us for a monthly fee. It's no contract service, and all the pricing can be found on our website right there, theunlimitedleasing.com. So that's it for today, guys. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button down below. If you want to see more videos like this in the future as new devices come out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you know someone who could make use of this unlimited data service, please feel free to share this video with them. Most people don't even know that this service exists. All right, you guys hang in there. Till next time. Thanks for watching.